Hello, this is Mike, and I want to update the crystal ball lines. And wow, what a day today was in the stock market. Let's look at the S&P results here from Yahoo. 3.09% for the S&P. And if you play the SPXL, then you'll get 3 times that amount. But anyway, let's look at the lines. First of all, there it is in the what we see in the candlestick. Pretty amazing, isn't it? This is the 20, and if you look and see what's been happening here, notice how these probability lines, which are the upper Bollinger lines for all the different moving averages, how they've been coming down and building up this cluster that's next to the price, leaving this white space in here, and this keeps getting smaller and smaller, and finally the 20. See, there's the 20. The 20 moves to the top, and when it looks like when it's reached the top, that's when the price moves up. It could be because these are getting smaller. I don't know. Whatever reason, that we had a big increase today. And of course, always when you have a doji down next to the lower bundle, look at here, doji against the bundle goes up. Here's a doji again for yesterday, went up, and so let's look at what we had yesterday. Let me stop the video and go back and get that. Here, I pulled up yesterday's video, and this is what we were looking at, just the doji. And look at the all these, how this bundle has piled up, because all these lines are coming down into it and leaving the upper bundle. And even when I just put for what was today, yesterday, and what was going to be today here, I just put in the closing values. You can see that the 20 went on above and became reached to be the highest one. Now, we had to look back in history to see what might happen next. Will that make it come down? I don't know. Let's look. But let's go back. Oh, let's see here. And there's what the chart looked like for today without knowing the prices, the closing, and the all the different prices. You see how flat it was. We do look, we see this huge white gap here, and also a big gap here, meaning that these could move up. Okay, and now we do have some other. We have this intersection, which is in the negative price, and it came into play today. We'll see that in a minute. And then the closing price, where do you think it would be? Well, let's see. We got this line here. That is the, well, it's not going to show me that, but we have this low curvature line, very stiff, and we have this one, high curvature line, and it intersects right here. So that is a prime target for the close today. And if you look at this area, can you see the fish head? See, there's the fish head. Actually, this fish head, and the tail down this way. So we got the right shape here. How about on this bottom one? Yeah, that kind of looks like a tail. There's the head. I know you were saying I'm just imagining things here. uh, anyway, that's the way I've come to look at it. I've been at this 2 years trying to figure out this. I've tried to figure out how to do an algorithm on it, but eventually I get it. Of course, you can always look at the gaps. All right. Now, the fact that the top has the larger one kind of means that the top's going to dominate. And sure enough, but it is strange how. Well, let me put this away and go look at this. Look what happened today. Okay, here I am back to the Excel file, and you notice my marker is set on the big green can. I mean, the target is set for the big green by putting this marker on yesterday's doji, and I guess the market's already closed today, but this is the 4 o'clock values. And look what happened to all these lines. We had this big white space. Look what's happened. This price increase has shoved all these lines up and has done away with the white space. And like I say, that seems to be the mechanics of the market is to, the price will go so that it collapses these white spaces. And it kept growing. I guess the white space, come back here, I guess it all started right about here where we started building this bundle or cluster. I call those clusters, and you could do a cluster analysis on this. I've done that, and it does look, you can see some patterns in the cluster analysis that gives you the closing price also. And if I ever bring that to fruition, I'll add that to the Excel file. All right, well, you see what I mean about the white space closing. And it seems like as these lines get compressed, that makes the price go away from the compressed probability lines. So, all right, well, let's go over and look at the, I've already got my markers set to where I'm going to be looking at where the lines, where the big candle is. Let's see, day chart SPXL. Here we go. Now I've already got it, but here is the price as it follows. All right. Now, here, here's the close. See, it says close. Here's the open, the green line, and it opened right at yesterday's close. And here's the low. Now, see, we talked about this white space, how it would go negative. There it is. That's the low for the day. And let's see, that occurred at, and here's a graph of the price. And you can't see it with the time scale here. This starts at 9:30. So that's 9:31. I think that's about 9.5 something for 9:31. And that goes up to the close here at 4 o'clock. Now, why it follows that path, I don't know. If I knew that, it would be nice to be able to generate this price curve versus time just given these lines, right? But we didn't expect a gap up. Then there wasn't a gap up. It opened right at the center of the origin. The origin is at the left to right is price, and so left to right, the 0 on the x-axis is yesterday's closing price. Then you can see that started right here. The green line marking the open is right at the origin. And then just follow the price here. Kind of zigzagged up a little bit. Then went down, zigzagged around the origin, 0 price change. Went down, came back to the origin, 0 price change. Went down all the way to the low, and the low coincides, you see on the line probability curve, with this intersection right here. See the bottom white space? Of course, we got all this too, but I think it's the, although for the determination of the close, here's the close way over here, and you see that it's an intersection right here, and it is the intersection that bound, the lines that bound this white space. All right, so let's follow that out. Maybe I could get that light there. See how that one I just lit up goes right through this line right at the close. So obviously that's what caused the close. Now what's amazing is, now you saw I had this graph. These lines were generated yesterday, 4 o'clock. Now that's pretty amazing to say that yesterday's close determines today's close. I don't know. But what about, you wonder, well, how in the world can that work? Because what about the Fed meetings that might have occurred today that affect the stock market? Everything else. So, but the only reasoning I can make out of it is that now this is the S&P, all right? And then also graph the SPXL. And so, but the other thing I can make out of it is that the S&P is so big that it follows statistics, and to the point that you can even, it's kind of, if you studied statistical process control, how that when your variable that you're following, your process you're following, whether it's the dimensions on a lathe output or whatever, that when it gets out close to 3 standard deviations, the probability is that it's going to go back towards the center, the average. And the only thing I know is that the S&P, just following the statistics, you can make these curves, and it's just like their probability curves. It's really hard to understand why that would be, and it's even harder to believe that yesterday's graph made yesterday can tell you what the close is going to be. But there it is, folks. And I've been showing you already 3 days in a row how the curves, and you can see how you got the smaller white area and the larger one, seems to dictate which way it's going to go. But for some reason, it does, the market tries everything, it seems like. And it goes down wherever it's got room to go, and that white space gives it room to go down here, and that's a hard stop. Now, if you draw your lines of support and resistance on your curve, I haven't figured out, but I would call that a hard stop, okay? A hard support line, okay? And if you could detect that during the day, then you would know that to get to buy go long here. And look at what the price did at that point. It hit it twice, and maybe that's the only indication you really need. If it goes down to a number and then comes back and turns away, probably need to get in long right here and follow it up. Okay, but if you don't have these charts, but with these charts, you can see that you could just take that to be a hard resistance, hard support, that the price can't go through that intersection. And and it does seem like the areas closest to the origin, like this area and this area, the ones closer to the origin, are the ones that play. Why didn't this one? I mean, this area, these lines, these are your contour lines we were looking at, and how they got pushed up. Here's this white space got compressed as the price went up, and the closing intersection is right there, right here. That no, I'm sorry, the closing intersection is right here. It's this the border of the white space line where that intersects the price, and that's intersecting the one I have highlighted there. You see the dots. So, hey, I don't know. I just started looking at trying to make sense out of this, and what I did was I saw this candlestick. Let me go back here and find that normal candlestick. And I plotted all these Bollinger lines. I thought, well, maybe it wouldn't go through any of the Bollinger lines. The prices stopped. And I said, good gracious, what a mess. But then I got to thinking, well, if you were going to, these are based on probability. If you really wanted to predict the future, what could you do? Well, one thing you could do is you can always take today's close and project it into the future tomorrow, the next day, and and gradually drop the price down to $200 and gradually increase it $200 and see where these lines go. These lines are easy to figure. It's just the mean plus 2 standard deviations. So I did that for whatever possible prices there could be the next day. And that's when I got this chart. And lo and behold, if they were all nice and even, you wouldn't think much of it, but these do see patterns. And then as I started watching every day, by golly, you could see some patterns, and you could see, make some rules that would give you an idea where the close was going to be, and the size of. And they all really is going back to seeing these pushed up is going back to seeing what's happening on the candlestick where the lines get pushed up. You can see these lines going up. Now, what you see in this candlestick is the close. What's at the close in price, okay? Now, during the day, this candle, first of all, went down. It went down to the bottom of this tail, all right? That's where it went all the way to the left and reached the low right here. And this top was here, and this white space probably even opened up at that point. And then so there it reached the low for the second time. And by the way, that occurred, let's see, when did that occur? 12 0.58. About 12:30, a little after 12:30 that happened. So let's see. Anyway, I think we can wrap this video up. But it was a tremendous day, and I just wanted to show you that the lines came through again. You know, but what it is, it's the fact that the close occurs at an intersection, a prominent intersection of these probability lines. And not only that, the low, of course, the open was just at the 0 point, and the close today was, the high today was also at the close. You can see how it went the last minute jumped up. Now, I don't know, but what's controlling when people buy, and what's controlling it goes down and hits this? I don't know. Is it just statistics? Is it the statistics? Is that able to graph market sentiment? I don't know. Anyway, let's wrap it up for the day. And it was an amazing day. And I'm glad I could explain it to you in the crystal ball. See you tomorrow.